It is the RIOT podcast. Happy Friday.
Yay.
Happy weekend. Happy Halloween. Ooh, spooky. This is the last time we're doing that.
It's a spooky podcast.
Yeah. Is it? Does that scare you? Anybody?
Nervous.
Yeah.
Very nervous because what's going to happen if you... if you don't listen to the whole podcast, you're going to get how many years of bad luck?
Yeah, right.
It's like, no, just, enjoy the podcast however long you can get through.
Yes. And leave a review for it too. That'll give you good luck.
Not on a spooky day.
Yes.
Okay.
Today's podcast, we talked about where is the best place to go to get free bread. But when I say it like that, it doesn't really sound all that exciting. But listen, there's some good free bread.
No, there is.
We went through a list of them.
You know what was surprising is I feel that we agree that the Red Lobster biscuits are the best free bread you can get at restaurants. But I know people love, at least they claim to love, the bottomless breadsticks at Olive Garden.
Those are good, but I feel like they've gotten... I haven't been to an Olive Garden in a while, but when we were going there, RadioU was going there for a few years as its like choice restaurant.
That's true.
Let's go on a staff birthday lunch or something. We'd go there. And I feel like there was a time when they weren't as soft and warm and fresh as they used to be.
I think people just have happy memories of the Olive Garden breadsticks, and especially because they're bottomless. So it's just like you go crazy with them. You could get a good deal at Olive Garden in general, and then it comes with the breadsticks, but they're not actually that good, guys.
Well,
I mean, they're okay. They're free. Don't get me wrong.
You can't be free.
You eat them when you're there, but that doesn't mean that they're the best. Some people get so excited about them. I don't get it.
Guys, well, I mean, let them get excited if you'd like.
Yeah, you can.
But just realize...
argue with us.
You can judge things, even if they're free. You cannot like it.
We talked about that. We also talked about how some kids heading off to college may miss their animal more than they realize.
That'd be tough, wouldn't it?
I wish dorms would let you have pets.
Did your family have a pet that you had to leave behind?
No. I had no dogs, no animals when I was young.
Really?
I had pigs a little bit.
Jim is your first dog?
Yes, Jim was my first dog. And I don't know how long I could be away from Jim. If I had to put a number to it, I would say I probably could go without seeing him probably for like 6 months.
You do?
No, that long?
I'm joking. I would miss him after a while. But if you gave me like a solid week, maybe 2 weeks,
a vacation, a gym vacation.
Oh my gosh!
I think I forgot
and he
about
came
this.
Back better.
Yeah, I just need to send him to some boarding school or something.
He needs a boot camp.
Yes, he needs a doggy boot camp, and he comes back and he's well behaved.
Yeah.
But for that week or two, man, I'd be living the life.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I just realized now, I didn't realize when we first talked about it, when I went away to broadcasting school, it was only for 6 months, so it wasn't as long.
Yeah.
But my family had a cat at that time. It didn't even faze me. It did not.
You didn't even think about it?
I never thought about one time this whole 6 months I was at school. Never thought.
Well, that
wonder
wasn't
how the
your
cat
cat
is doing.
then. That wasn't your pet, because they did say in the study that it's mostly dogs.
Yeah.
That we attach
totally different.
Really hard to.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't have a dog growing up either. So yeah, the cats I did not have as much attachment.
Always did. I'm looking at you, Samson. You were the best. You were the best.
We talked about that. We also, as we have pretty much this entire week, tried to skip over Halloween as much as possible. So we went to one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time and talked about how the main character didn't make a sequel to it.
And why? So then now next time you watch Elf, you'll be like, oh, they hate each other.
Yeah. Pulls back the curtain a little too much.
A little too much. There's drama in every movie made.
Yeah, but what we still want to know, Isaiah, do you have an answer for this? Any movie since Elf, any Christmas movie since Elf that is any good? I mean, not any good,
You're
but like that you make
movies?
But as big as Elf.
That's as big, or that you make even if it's not as popular, but just that you make a point to watch every year.
I can't think of one.
No,
since it, or before,
since Elf.
Since
I don't know.
In the last 20 years, what's another Christmas movie?
I don't know if there's another one. The Grinch came out before with Jim Carrey, right? That had to be way before, right? That's the only one. That's my favorite. I'll watch that every year, no matter what. But other than Elf, like that's the only other one that I really even try to make a point to watch. Those two are really the only ones that I make a point to watch at Christmas time anyway.
I watch White Christmas. It's a real old one.
I was about to say, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's the best.
That's Bing Crosby.
It's got this one weird part. You just skip through it. And it's a remake of an older movie that's horribly racist. So don't watch that one. But if you watch White Christmas.
It's my favorite.
Well, I bought it because I thought, it's like White Christmas, but early. No, I had to return it.
Different.
Oh, wow.
I returned it to Amazon. It was that bad.
Well, who is it? You're talking about the Bing Crosby one that,
the
that
very
you
first
like watching?
No, the one White Christmas is like just a different version of this first one. And the first one, what is it like? Is it Holiday Inn or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
So wait, White Christmas is different.
White Christmas is different. That's the newer old one.
With who?
That has the Ben Crosby guy in it.
I thought they were always the same thing.
Listen, I think all the movies.
Is White Christmas just like recut or something?
Just look it up.
I'm not going to because I don't want to watch it either way. No, I don't.
Here's one. The Polar Express. That
that's weird.
That came out after Elf did. That's a popular movie.
No, it's not, and it scares you as a kid. The bell and the animation.
I don't watch it. I'm not gonna vouch for it, but I'm telling you, it's a popular movie.
Aerosmith is in it for some reason.
There's listeners that like the Polar Express.
It makes me uncomfortable.
They watch it every year.
It always has.
You're wrong. So keep looking.
They watch it every year. So if you're a Polar Express watcher, you're not that weird. I promise.
No, they're weird.
Do I watch it everywhere? And I haven't seen it in probably.
Well, we'll keep
years,
looking while you guys enjoy the podcast today.
Yes, and
if you have any, you're like, hey, dummies, what about this one? Feel free to nicely text us and tell us 877-2-RADIO-U. And then Isaiah's in for me on Monday. I'll be in Pennsylvania. That way no one worries. Sometimes if I don't say where I'm at, people worry. You're welcome to tell everybody I'll be in a different state.
Don't worry, Nikki. The last few times you've been out, nobody's even texted and concerned.
No one's cared.
No one's even noticed.
Don't worry.
Ouch. All right, bye, guys. Have a good day. Good weekend.
Catch you next time.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki and Hudson here with you. The last show before official Halloween. Nikki, I like your costume.
Good, it is. Dressed as Nikki, and I see
Very
you
nice.
have reprised your role as Hudson for your costume today.
I did. And I'll tell you, it wasn't intentional that I was going to not dress up because I really was going to wear my Charlie Brown shirt in.
Yeah, did you just forget?
Totally forgot. I always get my clothes out the night before, and I was not even. I was right after the Packers game, which we'll talk about in a few minutes.
Well, that had priority.
That took precedent, and so I wasn't even thinking. It wasn't even crossing my mind that I needed to dress up or that I had said I was going to wear my shirt. So it's just sitting in the drawer, a different drawer than the one that I put my clothes for the next day in.
Well, let's go to the trifecta, and I don't think Isaiah dressed up either.
No, you know what? We should have brought him in. He told me that he was kind of half dressed up because he was trying to be Linus.
Yeah.
Because Linus.
Oh, because of his blanket?
Because of his blanket.
No,
and because I was going to be
count.
Charlie Brown, it would have matched up. So he's half dressed up. He did more than we did.
I feel like he just came up with a better excuse for his normal day wear.
Well, yeah. If you look, he's wearing shorts.
Oh,
so
okay.
He's he says that's part of the costume.
I guess.
Linus wears shorts. Everybody in Charlie Brown seems to wear shorts.
Listen, nowadays you shouldn't even mention a costume or not because you never know when someone is dressed up or is not.
That's a good point.
And you don't want to offend anybody today. So unless it's obviously
that's like assuming
a costume,
someone is pregnant. You just can't do it.
Just don't say anything at all.
Your Johnny Depp costume really looks great.
You're like, wait a minute. This is just what I'm wearing today.
Yeah, this is just the eyeliner. It's just my normal wear.
Well, I think it's fine if anybody's going to or not. I brought some candy in.
I noticed that. So
I brought some leftover from Trick or Treat last night.
You didn't have enough people coming by?
No, I just had a lot of extra candy. Well, meaning I bought a lot of candy to pass out, just in case, and that's it. So
what kind do we have over there? I see the bag, but it's turned its back to me.
It's like a Twizzler thing and Jolly Rancher.
Twizzlers are good because I don't really consider. Don't take this the wrong way, Twizzlers. I don't really consider you candy.
No, it's isn't it like healthier?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
Everything else.
I can eat Twizzlers and I don't feel bad about it.
Well, it's got a bunch of Jolly Ranchers, some Twizzler stuff. Here, wait.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
And then I threw in a few candy bars, but that's it. So.
I might dip into the Twizzlers because that's, again, I don't consider that candy. Other than that, I'm going to stay away. Jolly Ranchers, chocolate bars, don't need it. But the Twizzlers,
that could work.
That's fair game.
At least put your head in the bag.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I want to let you know that the Riot will not be changing its name anytime soon.
We're stuck with it.
Yeah, unlike Facebook, which is now no longer Facebook, the company.
Don't confuse it, though. Facebook is still Facebook in the social media world, but similar to like the only example everybody has is Google's Google.
Yeah.
But Alphabet is Google's like name for its head of all the companies that Google owns. So Google's just a part of it, but they want something to separate it in case something they do isn't popular anymore, causes drama.
Yeah.
So in case they ever need to move it away.
So that they can cut off the one head of the Hydra and leave the rest
So they just needed
unscathed.
a new name.
Yeah, so they announced yesterday, it was all over the place, that Facebook, the company, will now be known as Meta. And I got to tell you, I love it.
You do?
Yeah, it's a great name.
I can't tell if you're being serious.
What do you mean? Why would I not?
Why would I? What does Meta sound like?
What?
Meta sounds like feta.
And what's so bad about that? Who doesn't love a good feta cheese?
I'm just telling you, everybody online no one likes any name they would have ever come up with. So
I know.
It's really just finding the lesser of all evil.
I'm here to defend Facebook. What have they done wrong?
Okay, now I can tell you're trolling.
What are you talking about?
With that one statement right there.
Well, we love Facebook, don't we?
It continues.
We love it.
I'm suspicious.
Think about all the great products that Facebook has brought us. Think about how much Facebook has connected us as a people, as a society, how much it's brought us together. All the great things that we are able to do now because of Facebook.
Yeah, but you're saying Facebook, but we're talking now Meta.
Think of all the great things Meta has done. And I think we should support Meta in whatever changes it chooses to make.
So they're saying it would be the head name for, Facebook, Instagram. What else do they own? Oculus. WhatsApp, all that stuff.
Supposedly, Oculus will now not be Oculus anymore.
What's it going to be?
Nothing. I think that's just getting rolled in.
How do we have no name?
I think it's just getting rolled into the Meta because that's really the reason for the name change is because they want to build what they're calling a metaverse, which is where people will interact in all, what do they call it? Augmented reality and virtual reality, which sounds horrible. Well, absolutely the worst.
If you see the presentation from Mark Zuckerberg, he shows his little Meta augmented person.
Yeah.
And that's when it really starts to go downhill. Because you're like, great, there's your little avatar person thing. Just stop telling us.
It's so awkward, and I don't know why they keep pushing this on us. Yeah,
they just do.
There's a handful of people in the world that are really excited about virtual reality, and I don't think it's because they want to live in virtual reality. They just want to play games.
I think they have so much money in this reality that they can play around in the other one where the rest of us
they can try to make one where they're not hated.
Sure. They're trying to make a perfect society or place where they can go hang out and hide out. And we're just like, well, I don't want to wear that. I don't want to have those goggles.
Mark Zuckerberg goes and hangs out in the metaverse and we all just continue our lives.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Meta away.
Yeah. Did you also see people were wondering why in his obviously very carefully thought out video and everything, why there was a bottle of barbecue sauce?
The Sweet Baby Ray's?
Yeah, what's up with that?
It is so weird. It's turned to its side.
Was it an advertisement?
I don't know. It's turned to its side and it looks like bookends. It's just holding the book up, its decoration.
Which actually is a great idea.
But it's so weird because the Sweet Baby Ray's, which is amazing barbecue sauce, but it's like, why is it on your shelf?
Yeah.
Is that even his shelf?
I think Sweet Baby Ray's is like, could you please not include us in this?
Wow,
we don't want to be involved.
That was meta right there.
Yeah.
You're just like, dude, why do you have barbecue sauce behind you?
Maybe he's got somebody close enough to him that kind of was trolling him in a way,
Yeah, someone filming it was like, here, put it up there.
Yeah. No, he didn't even notice until after the video, and it was too late. He's like, I can't do another take, but they snuck in the Baby Rays.
This is The Riot. RadioU.
What is the best restaurant free bread item that they give out. And why is it Red Lobster Cheddar Bay Biscuits?
Why is it?
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting question.
That is a good one. I mean, the Red Lobster ones are, it's really hard to go against them. They're fantastic. They even do like the ones where you can make them at home, you know?
Yeah.
And I've even bought them and tried to make them myself. And actually the packet, like, you get them pretty spot on. Like, they aren't very far off. Even when I make them, and I'm not a cook. So.
Yeah. That is a special occasion treat we'll get at the Hudson house, is that we will
The Cheddar Bay Biscuits?
pick up the Cheddar Bay Biscuit mix, but I'm happy to inform you guys.
I like the Red Lobster's like, not Red Lobster. That's not the special treat.
Yes.
It's just getting the biscuits.
The biscuits,
I
yes.
can leave all of the other Red Lobster stuff behind. It's just the biscuits. Well, I'm happy to let you guys know that now you don't even have to mix them up anymore.
Oh, they already made.
They
No
have
way.
frozen Cheddar Bay Biscuits ready to bake. You just whip them out of the package, pop them in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes at 350 degrees. And then if you want to pour some butter or garlic herb seasoning on there, that's all in there for you.
Does anybody else feel, though, like I was on board until you tell me it's 25 to 30 minutes?
It's long, isn't
Because
it?
a long time.
I never remember until I'm ready to like eat, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, but here, just wait 30 more
And you
minutes.
want those ready before everything else.
I want it now.
And I feel that
30 minutes is a long time.
I'll be honest with everyone. It's always my wife that makes them with the mix, so she would know better than I. But it doesn't feel like with the mix it takes that long.
Sure.
No.
Probably not, because you don't have to make it from frozen. But either way, now no preparation really involved. You just pop them in the oven, you're good to go.
They say comparing it to the mix, it actually does save you about 10 minutes.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
about it. And that's all you got to worry about.
I'm looking at the picture. I don't know if it looks as good as the ones you can make yourself, but either way, if it cuts out some of the hassle, it's worth a shot. So do you guys have, or anybody who wants to text in, have an opinion
On the free bread.
for free bread
Yeah.
that's something different than the Red Lobster biscuits? Because I think they're
What do you
top
think,
to
Isaiah?
top.
See, I think the Fazoli's breadsticks are really
They're
good.
good.
I think O'Charlie's bread is right up there. When I go to O'Charlie's, I
it's
know I'm gonna
good.
get the bread. I'm trying to think of others. Doesn't Texas Roadhouse? Don't
They
they have
do.
really good
They
bread
do.
too? They have that cinnamon butter.
With the
Oh,
butter.
Yes, the butter
butter.
makes it. The butter makes it.
Those ones are right up there as well. But
I'll wait 25 to 30 minutes for
yes,
those.
the Cheddar Bay Biscuits. I think this is actually a good deal because the last time I attempted to make these, I was supposed to bring something to like an event, and so I said I was going to bring these to the event, right?
Nice.
And I failed horribly. I didn't put butter in them. Like they were supposed to be made with butter, so they were like rock hard. It was pretty bad. And I like
man.
tried to apply it like after they were already half cooked. It was pretty much a disaster, and then I had to show up. It was all I had. Of course, it was last second, so I had to show up with them anyway. People were like, "Oh no, they're still good."
Oh, and they're
they were
not.
trash. They were trash.
You should have just told them you're late. You actually have to go to Red Lobster.
Yes.
Oh,
so,
wow.
but yeah, I think Texas Roadhouse. The cinnamon butter's right up there. I like O'Charlie's bread too.
Yeah, I mean, I like those. They're both great choices, but I don't think they hold a candle
To
to
this.
Red Lobster.
What about Raising Cane's with the
Ooh,
Texas toast?
That's good too.
That's a good one.
I think that has my vote because I'm always
That's
like,
so
I'll
good.
take 2 pieces of toast.
Yeah.
I don't want
Yes.
the coleslaw.
You make it. You don't want the chicken sandwich from there, but you make
You make your own sandwich?
Make your own
Yes.
sandwich with
Oh
that Texas
man,
toast.
that's a pretty good one. That's a good
Hudson,
one.
I love your mind because, man, I'd love to talk about bread on a Friday. Sure,
Yes.
this is a great idea.
Hey, it's the weekend. I know I've had fast food twice this week, really, but
Now, ready for bread?
Maybe
I'm
we
ready
could do some bread.
I'm ready
Why
for
not?
guilt-free fast food because it's the weekend,
Yeah.
or even better, some Red Lobster biscuits.
Well, if anybody has any other, the free breadsticks, whatever that comes in the basket ahead of time, feel free to text us at 877 RadioU. But if you're a fan of the Cheddar Bay Red Lobster biscuits, Walmart is now going to be selling the frozen ones.
Yep, there you go. And
If they keep talking long enough, they're bound to say something that you agree with. The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
so I have a study here, Nikki, from Washington State University, where they found that about 75% of first-year college students say that they have experienced some level of separation anxiety from their pet that they left at
from
home.
leaving their pet
Yeah,
at home.
isn't that sad?
I thought at first like the family, like you leave your parents.
Well,
but
isn't that's what you would think about at first? And it's kind of funny. Yeah, we're not talking about You're fine leaving your family behind. In fact, maybe you're even anxious, but you leave the pet behind and you start to realize you miss it a little bit.
They say 1 in 4 report moderate to severe symptoms of pet separation anxiety, because 75% experiencing, something along those lines. If you ever feel that way, then they realize you're not alone.
Let's see. Alexa Carr, she is the lead author of the study.
Yeah.
She said, and it's a part of her doctoral dissertation. So, ooh.
That's official.
She says there's nothing necessarily wrong with students if they are experiencing a lot of distress from leaving their pets. You're not alone out there.
Dude, bring your pet with you.
Yeah, right?
Well, you can't.
Maybe your pet wants to get away from home, too.
Your pet wants to leave your parents.
Yeah, it's like I've been living here my whole life. It's time for me to get out and spread my paws
they say
somewhere else.
Higher anxiety tends to be for, and this is totally, I don't know, maybe not you as much, Hudson, but this is me. When you treat your pet more like people. So if you identify with them that they're your friends, if they sleep in the same room, if you spend a lot of time with your pets, especially dogs, they report people have more attachments to their dogs.
That'd be tough.
That leads to the separation anxiety, more dogs than with cats and more than any other pets.
Yeah, I think, you know how in airplanes you can still bring, it's only a few certain animals, you can bring an emotional support animal. Well, you know where you really need emotional support? College.
Yeah, your class.
You should be able to bring emotional support animals to college. I don't see why.
But my main dog I would bring also has his own emotional support problems.
Yeah.
So I feel like it'd be a mess.
And you know what, too? I think, God bless you, college students, but I don't know if you were solely responsible for taking care of your pet while you were also doing college stuff.
Your mom
if
was.
you would really give it the best level of care that it needs.
Yeah,
Feels like, especially for a dog, it might have a lot of times where it's feeling its own separation anxiety because you're out doing your own thing.
They say the separation anxiety is worse, obviously, because last year a lot of people just took their classes online and they were there to cope and help you with your mental health. So you really had an attachment to your dog, and now you're really feeling it if you've had to go back to in-person classes.
You know what we need? It maybe won't completely fill the void, but what if we just had, like at college, they had some dogs you could just go and pet or whatever, you know?
Oh, that's an amazing idea.
Isn't it?
Absolutely. I know I had someone I met, they did that at their work.
They did?
They bring a dog
Doggy
around.
day?
Yeah. It's not anyone's really particular pet. They just have dogs come in.
It's the office dog.
Yeah, it helps people out, kind of relax a bit.
I think some airports do that too, where they have rooms where you can go. Is it Denver?
That's the drug sniffing dogs.
No.
They're there to work.
Yeah, you're not supposed to pet those
Those
ones.
are worker dogs.
No, I totally have. I know I've seen news stories about where you can go. I think it might be the Denver airport.
And
you can go and they have a place where you can pet dogs during your layover or whatever.
Okay, because
try
sometimes
to
it's
ease
confusing
the anxiety a little bit.
when they tell you no for some dogs and yes for others.
Right.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
It is time for us to move past archaic terms that are offensive, right?
Are we talking about like for the names, or are we talking about like baseball terms themselves?
It's baseball terminology.
Sure.
Some of it is offensive, like the word bullpen.
Is it? We're not supposed to? What's arm barn?
That's the new name for the bullpen.
Is that really? I find that offensive.
That's what PETA wants us to call it.
So instead of bullpen, it's arm barn?
Yes. That's what that is PETA's suggestion. They tweeted out.
Please, let's go ahead and change that one to arm barn.
Yesterday afternoon, they wanted to let everybody know that we need to replace bullpen with arm barn because bullpen is basically offensive to bulls since that's where they're held before they're slaughtered.
Due to the treatment of cattle.
Speaking on behalf of bulls everywhere, PETA would like us to stop referring to the bullpen as the bullpen, and they've even offered a helpful, handy replacement term. They want it to be called the arm barn, which really sounds like if somebody couldn't come up with the term bullpen and they're like, he's over there. He's getting warmed up in the
arm barn.
The arm barn. Yeah.
Well, wouldn't that be like offensive to farmer stuff or anything like that?
It's
because of barn.
There's just something offensive about it, isn't there? Arm barn, especially if somebody like you picture the announcers and like, oh, look, yep, there's Mike Musina getting loose in the arm bar, and you'd be like, what is going on?
I almost wish it would take off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they again say bullpen refers to, the holding area before it gets slaughtered, and they would like arm barn to take over instead for the name.
Yeah, although some people are pointing out that bullpen has been used in baseball possibly before like cows were really slaughtered the way
and this
PETA is thinking about.
Yeah.
So the bullpen has nothing really to do with what they're talking about, which I don't think bullpen does refer to. I never thought it did refer to anything about actual bulls.
Well, they say it's a slaughter, but then they also say for bull riding competitions that it's the caged area before then. So not just slaughtering stuff, but just, bulls are not treated the best in those sort of situations.
Well, that's fair to say, for sure.
I mean, is it tough for a baseball player to be treated in the arm barn? Yes, it is.
Of course, yeah. Maybe we should just liberate bullpens, arm barns completely.
This person with this article, they're like, I fully support it, not because of anything with PETA, but because they really like the name.
Yeah, it is funny. It's a funny term, for sure.
They want to switch it to it totally.
By the way, I know I'm going to say don't do this, and then everybody's going to do it, but PETA did not look up what arm barn is on Urban Dictionary, which is an important thing to do for a lot of kids. It's bad. It's
no,
don't look. It's more offensive. Okay. It's definitely way worse.
You got to do your homework.
Yeah, come on, PETA.
Before you go try to pick another name. Well, now I'm looking, so thanks, Hudson.
It's right there in the replies.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go back to the article.
I told you not to look it up.
I am. You said not to, and now I have to.
No.
What does it mean?
Listen, Nikki, you don't want to know.
Well, no, I do.
No, you don't.
I do. Now Nikki. I'm too invested in this.
Well, we can't say it on the air, so you don't need.
Of course. Never mind.
Just
don't look.
It's just a thing. I mean, not actually looking it up is NSFW, but you just don't want to see it.
You're bringing it up too much. You should have just not said anything about it.
Well, I'm just saying that they should have done their homework. And everybody else doesn't need to. Just trust me on this one.
Don't look.
Don't look it up. And let's not call it the arm barn. I guess I'm open to the idea of not calling it the bullpen, but not really.
Why don't you just say, hey, go over there to that place over there.
Yeah.
And warm up.
Sometimes our language does seem to get more and more vague as we move through time, so maybe that's appropriate.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, with the holidays coming up, don't we all wish that there was a second Elf movie we could all enjoy?
I do remember the first one. It's a classic.
It is.
Because Hudson and I were talking like, Elf, that movie's old.
Yeah, 2003 that came out.
I feel like
18 years ago.
Everybody forgets how old it really is.
Uh-huh.
But what's come after...
It's aged pretty well, actually. You think?
I haven't watched, I haven't sat down and really paid attention to it.
Yeah.
But what else has come since then that I don't feel like there's been any other iconic Christmas movies?
What's the best Christmas movie of the last decade that people sit down and watch now?
Everybody still says Elf, and but what else do we have?
Yeah, it's been a while since we got a really classic Christmas movie. Well,
the Netflix Christmas movies and the Lifetime ones, those are not cutting it. The Hallmark ones.
Yeah, maybe the new Home Alone.
Maybe that'll be better.
So, of course, a lot of people back from 2003 to now have been wondering, will we ever get an Elf sequel? It feels like it ended where it could be, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for a story to actually make sense for a sequel. And even if the story didn't make sense, it's just Elf, just Will Ferrell acting goofy. That's all we need.
The movie writes itself.
Yes.
There was some Christmas stuff, but that first one made a ton of money.
It did $223 million,
just
I
at
believe,
the box
office. And that's not including all of the streaming rights and DVD sales at the time, stuff like that.
The merchandise.
So, of course, there would have been a lot of money to be made with a sequel. There would have been a lot of money to be made with Will Ferrell, the star. He turned down $29 million to reprise the role of Buddy the Elf in Elf 2.
I even feel like 29 would be more, you could get more in current times.
Uh-huh.
So that seems like even back when the movie came out. Like, that was a lot.
29 was the base pay, and then maybe a percentage of the box office take or whatever. It's actually come up in interviews a few times, but he just recently was talking about it, and he said that the script was rehashed, basically.
Oh, he didn't like it?
Yeah, it was very similar to the first, like too close, and so he said he would not have been able to promote it honestly. He just would have been doing it for the money, and so he didn't want to do that. I'm sure it seems that he's done that for maybe other movies that he's made, but he didn't want to do it for an Elf sequel, and so he turned it down. But then if you go back to previous interviews, there's also been times where he said he didn't want to be seen in the tights again, like joking, but like, it's not a flattering costume, although he's appeared in movies since then where he's in his underwear often. So I don't think that's really the main hang up.
Well, there was also like last year they said that there was a rumor that Will Ferrell had a disagreement with Jon Favreau, which was the director of the movie. And so that's always been floating around too. Yeah,
and they said that this is James Caan who plays Buddy's dad in the movie. And James Caan in an older interview said it was in Jon Favreau's contract that if they made another one, he would be the director. Mm-hmm. He would get to do that again. And Will Ferrell didn't want to work with him.
Dude, that's weird. I like Jon Favreau stuff. I don't like hearing that stuff because you're like, well, who's the bad one out of the two? Yeah. Because you're like, Jon Favreau seems pretty good.
Yeah.
And his movies are really good.
He's made some good stuff, for sure.
Will Ferrell seems pretty good.
Yeah, he always seems like a nice guy. And what's funny is James Caan breaking the news because he's the one that's kind of notoriously, that's a little more terse, you would think. So
not everybody's going to get along. I guess that shows it right there.
Even the most friendly of people, sometimes they have some issues with some folks. So you just never know. But it's too bad. But I guess if it was you assume with sequels, it probably wouldn't be as good.
They usually
in fact,
ruin
it might
the movie.
kind of tarnish the first one a little bit. So maybe it's just better. Some movies will just age better if they never get a sequel, and Elf may be that one. So there we go. But that's the answer. So and if you're holding out hope for it happening in the future, it doesn't sound like it, does it?
No, at least not because he turned down the $29 million.
Unless he plays like a side role, like the dad of a new elf.
Oh, I hate when they do that too. No, please.
Next in the line of elves.
Don't do it. I'm sure the studio will do it one day.
One day they'll bring it back, but it won't be the same.
Store at room temperature? Now that they can do. The Riot RadioU.
Talking, we've got the college football preview because it's a big weekend this weekend. Isaiah and I and Nikki will tell you what to look forward to. There's two big matchups in the Big Ten. First, coming up in the big house, Ohio State will be hosting Penn State for a matchup of two powerhouses. And maybe possibly Penn State can pull off the upset after their crushing defeat last week against Illinois. What do you guys think?
No.
Nikki?
Thank you for making that so easy,
Wasn't
Isaiah.
that just nice and simple?
That's
just
simple.
No.
I appreciate that. I don't know. I mean, I'm only going by the fact that I heard from you guys, because I hear from you too, that Penn State had actually been doing well.
I
think it's hard for them to shake off what happened last week, but it should be still a good game, and I like Saturday night games. Those are the best for me.
It's going to be fun.
That's the best for my schedule, so I'm glad they're going with that.
They're making it around you, they know.
It's going to be a good atmosphere. Are you guys concerned? Because I heard everybody, all the Ohio State fans going off the first 3 games of the year or whatever, that C.J. Stroud, their quarterback, we all saw it. He was throwing it over guys' heads constantly.
Yeah, that was bad.
He hasn't been having as much issues lately, although granted, I haven't watched as many Ohio State games, but he seems to be fine. But does it concern you that the games where he seems to be fine are against Indiana and whoever else, these
smaller teams?
Paltry defenses they've been playing, where maybe it's a little easier for him to look really good. Now that Penn State, who has a really good defense, might give him some trouble?
I don't know. It's home for the Buckeyes, right?
Yes.
Well,
it's
that'll
in
help.
Columbus.
The
in the big house.
It'll be fine.
It's gonna be I think it's gonna be a good game. I think we haven't played anyone of good quality since Oregon when we lost.
Right.
The past 5 weeks we played bad teams, but the past 5 weeks we've also put up like 41, 59, 52, 66, 54. Like we're putting up a lot of points on these bad teams. We haven't struggled at all, and Stroud has looked a lot better. So I think it's going to be a test game for him. I think there's a good chance that this game can come down to the wire. I think there's a good chance we could win by like 35 points.
Yeah, it's a high variance spot for sure. And does it cross your mind too? Since it is in Ohio State, if CJ Stroud, the quarterback, does have some issues early on in the game, you think the crowd could turn on him because guys.
Start booing him?
Yeah, you did earlier in the year.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if you actually booed at the stadium, but you might as well have been the way you were talking.
I think his teammates just need to learn to, go forward by like a few times. They just need to compensate. You're like, well, if he's going to, throw off a bit.
Or do they need to find maybe get on stilts or something like that?
They need to work around the quarterback.
Yeah. So the other really big matchup, top 10 matchup in the Big Ten, it's Michigan visiting Michigan State.
That's going to be big.
That is a huge one. What do you see? What do you foresee you guys happening in that?
See, for me, what I think is going to happen, just because this is what happens every year, whenever Michigan actually looks like they're good, they'll win every game except when they play Ohio State because then we'll crush their season at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I think Michigan's going to win just on the fact that I think Ohio State, yet again, is going to be the team that ends their season.
You think?
I think that's what's going to happen.
Talking about this game, though.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think they're going to beat Michigan State solely because whenever Michigan's good, they always beat everybody. And then they come into the Ohio State game and they're like, this is the year. And then we beat them like we do every year.
Okay.
I think Michigan just under Harbaugh, let me put it this way. I think Michigan is better. They're a better team.
Yeah.
But I can't bring myself to pick them against another team that's actually good because they never seem to come up in the big spots. They always seem to screw it up somehow. So I'll give Michigan State the benefit of the doubt. I guess they're going to win.
It's at Michigan State, too, so that's going to make it tough. If Michigan wins this game and beats Michigan State at Michigan State, I think they would jump into the top 4, no doubt in my mind. They should.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they would jump everybody.
Here's a question for you. If Georgia loses, do you think that could happen against Florida?
I don't personally think it could happen. It's at Florida, so that gives you some hope. But Florida hasn't looked fantastic this year. I mean, if a team's if there's gonna be a huge upset this weekend, I mean, it could be Florida beating Georgia. But I don't see them losing. But I think they could.
Okay, Nikki, I really want to know. Every time we talk about football, we need to find out what you're eating since the game is a night game. You have special plans?
I was like, now?
Yes. We get some candy over
She
here.
has a pot pie. She has a breakfast pot pie.
I did. I'm having a pot pie, and I did bring in some Halloween candy. So outside of that, I do foresee a lot of candy bars.
Oh, yeah?
So
Mainly chocolate.
Maybe some chocolate. I'll be using up some Halloween candy. If not, you know what? I got to look because I'll watch the Buckeye game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I got to come up with something.
I'm thinking I need to make you've started me on a new trend. I'm back at Aldi.
Yeah.
I haven't been for a long time until you sold me on the dip.
There's a queso
still
dip
wanna
that's good.
try it.
And now I might go back. I don't know if I'll get the dip or if I'll find something else fun, but I think I'm going to treat myself at Aldi. It's going to be a new football tradition.
I love it.
If you're looking for hot takes on the day's most important news stories, you're in the wrong place. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
We found it, Nikki.
What do we find?
A hot dog that I cannot support.
Oh, you don't like it?
I cannot abide this.
Hudson loves hot dogs.
I do love hot dogs. It's been a while since I've had one though.
You tried to cut back.
Sticking by that. I have not been having it for my routine work lunch, which is usually where I would have it.
But then you just moved into having the same thing for your lunch now with soup.
Well, yeah, but at least that's better for me, right? Maybe it's high in sodium, but
I think it's probably high in the same amount of sodium.
But it's low in fat and low in calories. It's very low in calories.
Yeah, he had a gumbo yesterday that smelled so good.
Yeah, the gumbo is great.
That was amazing.
That might have some fat in it, and it also had sausage, so that's basically a hot dog. So I don't know if that counts.
You're maybe not helping yourself at all.
Not.
Maybe you
Anyways.
should go back to the hot dogs.
All right, I am not eating this though. The candy corn dog.
So is this the same? We talked in Wisconsin, is it a meatery or like a butcher place?
Uh-huh.
They were doing these brats that they were
Forgot about that.
hand forming and making, and they would make it with candy corn inside of it.
Yeah, but that was actual meat. It was like a regular bratwurst or whatever that also had candy corn mixed in.
Yeah.
This one.
Oh, is it all made out of candy corn?
This is entirely candy corn. This guy got the idea. He saw For some reason,
a faux food.
Yeah, for some reason, somebody posted like a picture of hot dog buns filled with candy corns. And so he saw that and he's like, but what if you actually made a hot dog out of candy corns? So he concocted a recipe, melted down a bunch of melted down a bunch of candy corns and formed it into a hot dog wiener shape and put it in a hot dog bun.
Well, the bun looks almost like it's a glazed donut, but is it actually a bun?
I think it's just maybe just the lighting of the picture or something. I think it's just a normal bun.
Ketchup and mustard on it. Remember, candy corn is Satan's earwax. So.
And do you see even the coloring of the bun once you melt down all the candy corn and mix it together? Doesn't it look unholy?
The hot dog looks like an imitation crab stick.
Does it?
Like if you have that with, whatever you might eat with an imitation crab stick.
I have not, but I'll take your word for it. I was thinking, and this might be very specific, but you ever make taco meat?
Yeah.
You put the seasoning in the meat or whatever, you cook it up, then you leave the frying pan and the grease hardens there. But since it has the taco seasoning in it, it has that specific color. It looks just like this.
So he should have gone all out. He should have done the faux dessert thing where it's all completely dessert.
Yeah.
He should have made the candy corn hot dog, had a donut for the bun, and for the ketchup and mustard, just did icing.
And then just had a heart attack at that point.
Yeah, actually, that would be so much.
What a way to go. A candy corn hot dog with a donut bun.
Well, whatever makes you happy, it's fine.
So I reject this. This is making me.
You don't want this for your snack after the show?
I do not. Okay. I don't want anything to do with this. Hot dogs. This is an
abomination.
It is. It's a tarnish on the name of hot dogs. The fine name of hot dogs.
You didn't think hot dogs could get any lower.
Oscar Mayer is rolling in his grave seeing this.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
We'll talk about chocolate and candy and Halloween stuff
one last
today.
time.
I don't want to have any post-Halloween anything next week. I'm done with it. I've had enough Halloween. I don't mind Halloween. I'm just tired of talking about it.
We talk about candy like every week on the show.
We're going to stop for a while. We need a break.
We talk about like new candy and stuff. That's not going away. But as far as the Halloween candy, I don't know. Like come Monday, we're just moving into Christmas candy.
Right.
Yeah, different candy.
Different topics that I will eventually get tired of. But I didn't know. We missed out on this yesterday. It was National Chocolate Day.
It was.
Yes.
And so on the RadioU Facebook page, Sydney went ahead and posted a little collage of a bunch of different chocolate bar options and said, which one are we choosing? So if you guys want to take a look there, Isaiah, we briefly talked, or maybe at length talked about this before.
Yeah, maybe at length.
Let's just rehash it out. Which chocolate are we going with here?
No, you have to always ask, like, hey, you're on an island. Which one can you take?
Yes.
Which one do you dump?
Yeah, I like that better. Which one would you get rid of from this list? Three Musketeers, probably.
Well, you have to tell the list.
Yeah.
So the options are Twix, Hershey's, just like a regular Hershey's bar, Butterfinger, Crunch, Three Musketeers, Snickers, Kit Kat, Milky Way, and Reese's.
Actually, I changed my mind already.
Which one do you want to get rid of?
No, which one I'm getting rid of? The straight up Hershey's.
What?
Well, no, you can get rid of the Milky Way before that.
Milky Way, long
Milky Way is everything you get in a Reese's plus caramel and everything you get in a Hershey's except plus caramel and nougat. Why would you not like that?
How about we dump the Three Musketeers?
I was thinking Butterfinger. There's no way I'm eating a Butterfinger. Butterfinger might be the worst on the list. I think it's unquestionable. The Three Musketeers and Milky Way I might actually be able to get through. No chance I'm finishing a Butterfinger ever.
Well, why don't we think about this in a positive way? This means that if we ever have every candy bar, then we're not going to eat each other's
for everybody.
Yes, exactly.
Same thing.
No, but you know how it is though. Every time you get a bowl of candy, you know what's gone. Is the Reese's. So we'd all fight over the Reese's, right?
I don't know.
I'll take a Snickers.
I would do Snickers. I would do Twix. Kit Kat's fire. I think Crunch is criminally underrated. And then even the regular Hershey's bars, I think they're just an easy one to
I'm keeping that for when I do s'mores outside.
Yeah, exactly. But Three Musketeers, Milky Way, and Butterfinger, those three can go for me. Everything else I would keep.
I think, you know what? I'd actually have a not too hard of a time just resisting most of the stuff in the bowl. Not that I don't like it. It's just... I think I'll just get my Reese's every day, just take one and leave the rest of the bowl for somebody else.
You're a simple guy with your candy.
That's all I need is peanut butter and chocolate. I don't know why they have to put so many other ingredients in. Although I am interested to try the new Reese's potato chip.
That one should be good.
Yes.
I'm interested in that for sure. But, I just need 2 ingredients. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just keep eating the rest of our Halloween candy?
Yeah.
And then we're going to reset on Monday.
Maybe
Isaiah's
we should
in for me on Monday. And then next week we'll just take a little breather from eating all the candy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll do something different. We won't eat candy. We'll just eat something else.
We'll talk about it.
We would
We can
always
start-
talk about it, but
Yes.
we're eating it too.
I know.
I think next week we just go into all the turkey talk.
Sure.
Oh my
gonna
gosh,
have three-
Thanksgiving is
4
right around the
weeks of
corner,
turkey talk.
baby.
Yeah.
One after another, man.
I can't wait to find Isaiah's opinions on like which sides are appropriate at Thanksgiving, which ones he would dump, which ones he won't even
Oh, my
try,
gosh.
which ones he has never had and hates.
Well,
Can't wait.
That's something to look forward to. Gosh, the holidays are great, right?
Yeah, I know,
It's
the
a good time
fall.
of
It's
year.
The holiday season, hoop-de-doo.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot. This show only exists because of support from listeners like you. Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.